Instagram. Thank you for being patient with me. So, as I said, we are going to be talking today about how you can choose the best coach for you, and how you can choose the best supervisor for you. And I started off saying that in today's fast-paced world, personal and professional development has never been more crucial. Many individuals, many organizations, they're turning to coaching supervision to enhance their coaching skills and so they can achieve their goals. Now, there are so many options available to us because of the increase in coaches that are promoting their services online, but also due to the increase of coaches or people that are training to become coaches, which is a great thing. Because in an unregulated industry where anyone can call themselves a coach and not everyone is trained, it's really important for us to have the tools that we need to decide on who's the best person for us. And it can be quite daunting because when we're making a decision, an informed decision, especially a decision that requires a level of investment, it's important for us to, work towards making the right one for us. So, as I said, if you're listening to this, I'd love to know what your top tips are for choosing a coach or choosing a coaching supervisor. And for me, it's important, hey, Simone over there, it's important to, first of all, and I'm going to break this down into steps as well, it's important to define your goals and your needs. So it's important when we're working on looking for somebody to coach us or to supervise us that we take time to clearly define what we're actually looking for. Hey, Simone, are we looking for someone to support us with our personal growth? Are we looking for someone to support us in our career development, leadership, confidence? It's really important when we're choosing a coach to know the obstacle that we are looking for support with, the challenges that we're experiencing. Now, some people may be looking for a coach for a broader transformation, and some people might be looking for a coach or a supervisor for a specific outcome. And actually, now I'm thinking about this session that I'm doing with you, maybe I should have divided it into top tips for looking for a coach and top tips for looking for a supervisor. So watch this space. I think I'll come back next week to do another one on this as well. Because knowing what we're looking for will really help us in our search. And it's really important to find a coach or a supervisor with the expertise that's aligned to the objective, the goal that you're looking for. Then, once we've gone through that stage, it's important for us next, when we've explored, okay, these are the goals, these are our needs, it's important then to assess the qualification and the experience. Now, coaching is a skill. Don't shoot me down, because I'm hoping that people that follow me and Sarah are aligned with the same belief that we hold, that coaching is a skill and supervision is a skill that requires training, experience, and an understanding on how we behave as individuals, how we behave as humans. Hey, Tisha. So Simone has said, great question. When, like me, your coach supervisor is allocated as part of an internal coaching pool. So that's also very different, right? So when you are within a system where you have been allocated a coach or a supervisor, I also have a lot of comments to make on that as well, Simone. So yeah, drop me a DM and let's chat about that, because I don't always think when we explore psychological safety whether allocating a coach or a supervisor to a specific individual is the right move. I think we should have freedom of choice there. So the second one for me is assessing qualifications and experience. It's important for us to look for coaches and supervisors who hold recognized qualifications. And there's always been a debate, and I had this debate in my supervision training with the supervisor and supervisors in training, whether it's important to have the accreditation or whether the qualification is just enough. And that's another conversation, another debate that we can have. But it's important that they hold recognized certifications from a reputable coaching training provider. That is important. And what's really difficult is in the world of online, where you've got so many coaching training providers out there, it's really hard to choose the right one. And so this comes into my next piece of advice when we're talking about how we're going to choose. Testimonials, recommendations are really, really important. References. Don't be afraid to ask for testimonials and recommendations if they are not clearly advertised, if they're not on the website, if they're not on Trustpilot, not on Google reviews, not on the LinkedIn recommendations tab. Ask for them. It's okay to do that, because a reputable coach or supervisor should have a track record of some level of success or satisfied clients behind them. And if they don't, because they're just starting out, that's okay too. But it's really important to have these conversations, because transparency is key. So when I talk to and train the coaches in training, I always say, if you're doing pro bono because you're a new coach, tell people, let them know, be straight up, be honest. We can't be successful and experienced in our field without the practice. So let people know what stage you are in your career so that they can then be informed as to what decision they make. You'll tend to find that actually people are all right with knowing that you are in training or knowing that you're newly experienced. And that's okay, because you could probably be the one that can really accelerate their profession as well. So don't hesitate to ask for references, testimonials, but also ask questions around who they trained with, where did they train, what level of qualification do they hold. And again, I think we did another live on whether accreditation is just as important as a qualification, or whether a qualification is enough. But again, another live for another day. So I've said number one is knowing your goals, knowing your needs, and finding a coach or a supervisor that's aligned with that so that they can best support you. Whether you want to do career transformation, whether you want a specific support in confidence or organization or well-being, explore what it is you're looking for and who's the best person. The second tip that I gave was asking to see their accreditations, their qualifications, their experience. I think practical experience is just as important as formalized training. Now, my background and Sarah's background is we both come from, the education sector. So for us to say, yeah, experience is just as important, it really is, as well as being professionally trained as well. The third one for me is the chemistry call, connection call, compatibility call, exploration call, whatever call you want to call it, it's hopping on some form of a conversation with the coach, with the supervisor, and connecting. I really strongly believe that connection is everything. And if you work with a coach or a supervisor and you're going to tell all, share all, bear all, there has to be a level of connection, compatibility, because we are not all a one size fits all. Not all coaches are for all people. Not all supervisors are for all people. I love my supervisor, and it took me a while to find a one-to-one supervisor, female, of color, in the same kind of locality as me. And I really, really do value our sessions. I'm excited to go to them. I'm excited when I leave them. I'm excited for the next one. I learn, I grow. But it took me a while to find the one. And actually, I do recommend that we try various supervisors, various coaches, so that we can have an experience of what we like, what we don't like, what style we like, what approach we like. And I recommend that always, because I don't think that we will know unless we experience a variety of different styles and approaches and people. So the third one is hopping onto a chemistry call, which should be free, or I don't know whether I use the word should there, because I know some people are starting to charge for them. I've been thinking about charging for mine because it reduces the amount of people that book and don't show up. So that's a business strategy talk there, another conversation for another day. But at the moment, most are free. Ask for one, request one. and just sit in that moment and assess how you feel, how that connection is with that person. Build that rapport, see whether it's there, see whether you feel comfortable sharing the challenges with them, determine whether that coaching relationship is going to work or not. So I'm just going to shout out to Simone and Lisa, who is still with me over on Instagram. And if you've got any top tips or any questions, feel free to ask me, because I'm more than happy to. And shout out to those who are over on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. Again, if you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. So number 4 is approach and methodology. Some coaches are very tool-based. Some coaches are not. Some coaches have a somatic approach or a psychodynamic approach. Some people do not. It's important, again, to know, like, what method approach are you looking for? You may or may not know. Some focus on having a structured framework. Some have a really holistic and exploratory approach. So ask, what approach does your coach or supervisor use, if any? What are you looking for, if any? Does it link to your goals and resonate with your personality? May or may not. So these are types of questions that I would ask. And then I already spoke about my final one, which is testimonials and references. So I say that coaches should, but I'm going to add there just with a caveat that if they're a new coach, they may not have testimonials and references yet. But that's nothing to say that you can't ask for it and see. And before you commit, explore whether financially it would work for you as well. There's nothing more disheartening than somebody investing in coaching or supervision and putting themselves in financial distress. And if someone forces you or encourages you, please really be on the lookout for that. You should go into that coaching relationship feeling relaxed, excited, right? So please don't feel that there's ever a forced need to engage or part with any of your money unless you feel that you're ready for it. And also know that there are maybe other approaches that might be right for you at that point, and a good coach and a good supervisor will let you know at that point whether they would refer you or recommend or ask you to explore whether another modality, another approach might be. It might be counseling, it might be a mentor that you're looking for. It might be that you're looking for training, and that, it's really important to understand the differences between coaching, supervision, mentoring, counseling, training. Like, really important to know the difference in before you get started. So that's been exciting. I hope that you have benefited from listening to my personal top tips on choosing a coach or choosing a coaching supervisor. My learning here is that actually I might do another session where I split, because you may be looking for something different when you're looking for a coaching supervisor. But it's always a benefit to have these conversations and to start them. I have seen someone over on LinkedIn that has said, thank you for your guidance, much appreciated. So, hey, LinkedIn user, thanks for commenting. Lisa Lou over on Instagram has said, very helpful. Thank you, Rebecca. So no worries at all. I am informed by you. So Sarah and I always listen to you and what you need, what you're looking for. So feel free to comment below with other lives, other support that you may need when it's to do with coaching, to do with supervision, to do with coach training, anything mindset, communication, confidence, or well-being related. We're more than happy to help and support. Just a heads up, if you are a coach, every month Sarah and I host free coaching supervision experiences, and they're absolutely free for anyone that is coaching or using coaching in their business or in their work. The next one is Thursday, the 24th of August. It's 11 o'clock. So it's always on the fourth Thursday of every month at 11 o'clock British Standard Time or British Summer Time. And people from all over the world, and I should be more specific, coaches from all over the world join us in a Zoom room to engage in supervision experiences so that they can get to know more about supervision, what it is, what it isn't, how it feels, and the impact of that. So the link is in the bio over on Instagram. And for those that are over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, it's in the comments for you as well. I am just seeing Simone has said, thanks, got my brain thinking, especially from the internal coach perspective. Yeah, Simone, let's chat about that. I've been having a lot of conversations with organizations and businesses about internal supervision. And for someone who had internal coaching when they were teaching, I'm not always too sure that allocating is always the best option. But that's my own opinion. Lisa has said, when do you recommend having a coaching supervisor? So Lisa, thanks for asking that question. And that's another question that I had last week with 20 other coaches. And we were talking, and everyone has a different perspective on this. But for me, I would recommend having coaching supervision from when you are in your coach training. And I'm really going to advocate for coach training providers to include that or have access to that, because I think it's really important. I think the number of supervision hours you have should increase depending on the number of coaching hours that you have over time. And I think that supervision should be ongoing throughout your whole coaching practice. Whereas coach mentoring, I don't believe that needs to be ongoing, because it looks specifically at the competencies and the development of each competency within your coaching. So, you might have coach mentoring during your coach training. You might have some if you're transitioning towards accreditation. I would believe maybe that coach mentoring would maybe increase later on as well as you develop more in your coaching hours. But for supervision specifically, I think from coach training and ongoing throughout your whole practice. So let me know if you want to chat about that, and I'll be more than happy to spread more. And if you disagree, by the way, because this is all opinions, my own, feel free to engage in conversation with me, because that's what this is all about. Social media should be social. So feel free to engage. But for now, I have been talking for 17 minutes, so I think I'm going to be quiet. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the week. And I look forward to seeing coaches at the listening partnerships this month, if you can make it. And if not, the free community is always there for you too.